The monster. Everyone feared, until a human reached out, establishes the world, the legend of the creature, and the contrasting perspectives between the alien species and the human explorers. This section serves as the foundation of the story, setting up the tension, the stakes, and the personality of the human protagonist. The story begins on the planet Zyreth, a hostile world that immediately signals danger to both the reader and the alien inhabitants. Zyreth is described as having jagged cliffs, acidic swamps, and forests that whisper in strange colors. This environment alone communicates that survival here is challenging, and it establishes the planet as a character in itself, harsh, unwelcoming, and full of mysteries. The hostile landscape mirrors the presence of the legendary monster known as the Shrieker, creating a sense of foreboding before the creature even appears. By presenting the setting in such vivid, alien terms, the story immerses readers in a world that feels both dangerous and alive, emphasizing that fear is a natural reaction for any being in this environment. The alien inhabitants of Zyreth have long told stories of the Shrieker, a massive creature with obsidian scales, glowing crimson eyes, and claws capable of tearing through metal. These stories serve multiple purposes. First, they establish the Shrieker as a near-mythical entity, emphasizing its size, power, and danger. Second, the legends serve as a cultural lens, showing how fear shapes behavior. The alien's fear is not just instinctual, it is learned and reinforced through generations of storytelling. The Shrieker's reputation is so ingrained that no alien dares to challenge it. Even the mention of its name is enough to instill dread. By highlighting the alien perspective, Part 1 emphasizes the contrast with human psychology, laying the groundwork for the HFY, Humans First theme. Enter the human expedition led by Commander Elias Vorn. Humans are depicted as fundamentally different in their approach to fear. Where aliens see a monster and retreat, humans approach the unknown with curiosity, patience, and boldness. Elias studies the reports and data methodically, acknowledging the danger but refusing to be paralyzed by it. This distinction is crucial, because it positions humans as uniquely capable of confronting challenges that other species consider insurmountable. Part 1 conveys the HFY ethos here. Humans do not simply rely on superior technology or physical strength. They rely on courage, intelligence, and a willingness to engage with the unknown. The tension escalates as the team sets up camp near the Shrieker's hunting grounds. The first night introduces suspense and fear through the creature's terrifying shrieks echoing across the swamps. These auditory cues evoke both danger and the unknown. The alien team panics, retreating to the relative safety of their ships, while Elias ventures to the edge of the mist alone. This moment is emblematic of the human approach. Rather than fleeing, Elias observes, assesses, and seeks to understand the creature. He begins to see the Shrieker not just as a monster, but as an intelligent, sentient being capable of emotion and thought. Part 1 ends by hinting at Elias's empathy and insight, which will define the rest of the story. He recognizes that fear alone is a poor guide, and that courage paired with understanding can change outcomes. This moment foreshadows the eventual bond between the human and the Shrieker, while also establishing the stakes. The creature is dangerous. The world fears it, and the humans are treading into territory no other species dares to enter. In summary, Part 1 serves several narrative purposes. It builds the world, introduces the alien culture and their fear, establishes the legend of the Shrieker, and most importantly, highlights the human approach to fear and danger. Elias's willingness to face the unknown sets the stage for the story's central conflict, the encounter with the Shrieker, and introduces the HFY theme of human courage, empathy, and ingenuity. By contrasting human and alien behavior, Part 1 creates anticipation, builds tension, and invites the reader to invest in the unfolding relationship between the human and the feared monster. The monster. Everyone feared, until a human reached out, marks the story's pivotal turning point. the first direct encounter between the human expedition, led by Commander Elias Vorn, and the legendary creature, the Shrieker. This section is central to establishing the story's HFY, Humans First theme, highlighting the unique human qualities of courage, empathy, and curiosity, while deepening the tension and fear surrounding the alien world and its feared inhabitant. The section opens with the human team attempting to collect visual data of the Shrieker using drones and remote sensors. This action emphasizes humans' combination of technological ingenuity and caution. They are prepared, but they also take measured steps to understand before confronting. The alien companions, in contrast, are shown to be paralyzed by fear. This contrast is critical. It establishes not just the danger posed by the Shrieker, but also the psychological gulf between humans and other species in the story. Whereas aliens rely primarily on avoidance and intimidation to survive, humans combine intelligence, observation, and bravery, allowing them to approach threats in novel ways. The tension escalates rapidly when the Shrieker appears. Descriptions of the creature heighten the fear factor. It emerges from the mists like living darkness, its massive size and glowing crimson eyes creating a visual of overwhelming menace. The sheer scale of the creature and the alien team's immediate panic serve to reinforce the legends introduced in Part 1. The narrative emphasizes the fear of the unknown and the instinctive terror that comes from facing something that defies comprehension. This not only builds suspense but also underscores the stakes. Any misstep could be fatal. Commander Elias's response to the Shrieker is crucial. Unlike the alien team, he does not flee or reach for a weapon. Instead, he demonstrates a radical form of courage. He kneels, keeps his hands visible, and communicates calm and non-aggression. This act of vulnerability in the face of a creature that could easily kill him illustrates a key HFY trait. Humans can achieve influence and understanding through empathy and respect, rather than domination or violence. The alien's disbelief at this approach further reinforces the story's underlying theme. Humans possess qualities that other species often underestimate or fail to recognize. The Shrieker's reaction is the centerpiece of this part. Instead of attacking immediately, it approaches cautiously, sniffing and observing Elias. This moment shifts the narrative from one of pure fear to one of potential understanding. The creature's hesitation demonstrates intelligence and perceptiveness. It is not merely a mindless predator, as the legends suggest. Elias's decision to extend a hand and attempt communication is symbolic. It represents humans' willingness to engage with the unknown, to seek understanding, and to approach danger with patience and empathy rather than brute force. This action also foreshadows the developing bond between human and monster, which will grow stronger in subsequent parts. Additionally, Part 2 emphasizes the aliens' perspective. Their shock and fear serve as a foil to Elias's calm bravery, highlighting the extraordinary nature of human psychology in the HFY context. Where aliens see only danger, Elias sees opportunity. Where aliens expect violence, Elias anticipates intelligence. This contrast is critical for setting up the story's central theme. Humans are capable of achieving trust and connection in situations that other species believe are impossible. The narrative begins to suggest that fear itself can be bridged through understanding, a theme that resonates with the HFY ethos. The part concludes with a moment of quiet reflection and foreshadowing. Elias whispers that the Shrieker is afraid, just like we are, signaling the narrative shift from fear to empathy. This insight is profound. It humanizes the monster, presenting it as a being with emotions, intelligence, and vulnerability. By doing so, the story lays the groundwork for the eventual bond between Elias and the Shrieker, and it begins to challenge the alien misconceptions that have dominated Xyrath for generations. In summary, Part 2 serves several key purposes. It introduces the first real confrontation between human and monster, escalates tension and fear, showcases human courage and empathy, contrasts human and alien approaches to danger, and foreshadows the growing trust between Elias and the Shrieker. This part transforms the Shrieker from a legendary figure of terror into a character capable of interaction, intelligence, and emotional response, setting the stage for the story's central HFY narrative. That humans, through patience, empathy, and courage, can achieve what no other species dares attempt. The monster. Everyone feared, until a human reached out, represents the turning point of the narrative, where the relationship between Commander Elias Vaughn and the Shrieker begins to evolve from cautious curiosity into a genuine connection. This section deepens the story's HFY, humans first theme, emphasizing human traits such as empathy, patience, and the ability to see beyond fear. It also highlights the contrast between human and alien behavior, further illustrating why humans are uniquely capable of achieving trust where others fail. At the start of this part, Elias begins a deliberate process of learning about the Shrieker's behavior and patterns. He studies its hunting grounds, daily movements, reactions to stimuli, and vocalizations. This is more than scientific observation. It is a form of empathy, a careful attempt to understand the creature on its own terms. The narrative emphasizes Elias's patience and meticulous approach, contrasting sharply with the alien expedition members, who continue to operate through fear and instinct. They remain anxious, second-guessing every step. Yet Elias demonstrates that humans combine intellect with courage in a way that allows them to navigate situations others cannot. The story shows Elias slowly breaking down the psychological barriers that have kept the Shrieker isolated for generations. He begins to offer food and extends his presence without aggression, letting the creature acclimate to human contact at its own pace. The importance of this cannot be overstated. While the aliens perceive the Shrieker as an uncontrollable monster, Elias treats it as an intelligent, emotional being. This approach reframes the creature in the reader's mind. It is not merely dangerous, it is capable of learning, understanding, and forming trust. By doing so, Part 3 reinforces one of the story's central HFY messages. Humans are capable of connection and understanding in ways other species underestimate. The narrative also emphasizes subtle changes in the Shrieker's behavior. Initially wary, it begins to respond to Elias's presence with curiosity rather than aggression. The creature's hesitation diminishes. It observes Elias's actions, mirrors some gestures, and even begins to communicate through vocalizations that suggest recognition. These moments are pivotal because they demonstrate that trust is earned, not demanded. Elias does not force the creature. He allows it to choose him as an ally. This element of voluntary trust reinforces the story's theme of human empathy as a form of strength. Additionally, the aliens' reactions in Part 3 serve as an important narrative device. They watch in disbelief as Elias continues to approach the Shrieker unarmed and unafraid. This highlights the gap between human and alien psychology and underscores the HFY concept. Humans succeed in situations that other species deem impossible because they approach the world differently. The alien's fear is instinctual and reinforced by cultural legend, while Elias's courage is rooted in observation, reasoning, and moral intelligence. Their astonishment provides the reader with an external confirmation of Elias's unique abilities, validating the story's theme. A key moment in this part occurs when the Shrieker brushes against Elias's shoulder. This gesture is small but profoundly significant. It signals the first physical acknowledgement of trust from the creature. It is a subtle affirmation that the monster sees Elias not as a threat, but as a partner, or at the very least, a neutral presence worthy of interaction. This moment also serves a symbolic purpose. It shows that fear can be overcome through patience and empathy, and that what is perceived as monstrous can possess intelligence, sensitivity, and emotion. Part 3 also builds narrative tension by showing that the Shrieker's transformation is not instantaneous. There are setbacks, moments of hesitation, and flashes of instinctive aggression. These elements remind the reader that trust is fragile and must be nurtured, which makes the eventual bond more satisfying. By depicting these challenges, the story emphasizes the human qualities that make Elias successful: resilience, observation, patience, and the willingness to engage despite risk. These traits reinforce the HFY message. Human courage and intelligence are not just about facing danger, they are about understanding it, connecting with it, and turning it into opportunity. In summary, Part 3 is the heart of the story's emotional and thematic arc. It transforms the Shrieker from an untouchable monster into a being capable of trust, showcases the contrast between human and alien approaches to fear, and reinforces the central HFY concept that humans can achieve what others cannot through empathy, patience, and courage. By the end of this part, the reader sees that the Shrieker is not a simple creature of terror, but a sentient being capable of forging bonds, and Elias is positioned as the catalyst for that transformation, true exemplar of human ingenuity and compassion. The monster, everyone feared until a human reached out, represents the culmination of Elias Vorn's patient efforts to build a bond with the Shrieker, transforming it from a feared monster into a creature capable of trust and cooperation. This part emphasizes the story's HFY, humans first theme, by showcasing uniquely human traits: empathy, courage, patience, and the ability to understand and connect with beings that other species cannot. It also highlights the contrast between human behavior and that of the alien expedition members, reinforcing why humans are exceptional within the story's universe. At the beginning of this part, weeks have passed since the first encounter. During this time, Elias has continued to study the Shrieker, refining his understanding of its habits, vocalizations, and behavioral cues. This extended observation underscores the HFY message that human intelligence and patience are not just about quick thinking in crisis. They are also about sustained effort, empathy, and willingness to engage with the unknown over long periods. Humans in this story are shown to value understanding as much as courage, and Elias's dedication illustrates that human problem-solving often involves observation, adaptation, and respect, rather than force. The Shrieker's behavior begins to change noticeably. What was once a creature defined by instinct and fear begins responding to Elias's gestures and vocalizations. It no longer reacts solely with aggression or flight, but starts to exhibit behaviors suggesting recognition, play, and even protective instincts. This transformation is significant because it signals that the Shrieker is not a mindless predator, but a sentient being capable of forming emotional bonds. By depicting this change gradually, the story emphasizes that trust must be earned and nurtured. It cannot be commanded. Elias's patience, respect, and non-threatening demeanor become catalysts for a new relationship, highlighting the unique human ability to bridge gaps between species through empathy. The narrative also emphasizes the Shrieker's protective response toward Elias. When a rival species attempts to capture or harm the creature, it reacts not with blind rage but with calculated defense, prioritizing Elias's safety. This moment is pivotal because it demonstrates the emergence of mutual trust and interdependence. The Shrieker, once feared as a destructive force, now recognizes Elias as a figure of respect and allyship. This not only challenges the alien perception of the creature as uncontrollable, but also reinforces the HFY theme. Humans possess a combination of courage and moral intelligence that allows them to achieve cooperation where others see only fear and danger. Part 4 also deepens the story's social and cultural context by highlighting the reactions of the alien expedition members. Their initial terror gradually shifts to astonishment and respect as they witness the bond between human and Shrieker. This contrast illustrates a key aspect of the HFY narrative. Humans succeed where other species fail, because they perceive possibilities that others cannot. The aliens continue to operate through fear and instinct, whereas Elias demonstrates that understanding and connection are forms of strength. The narrative uses these reactions to reinforce the reader's admiration for human ingenuity, patience, and courage. Another important element of Part 4 is the depiction of subtle emotional interactions between Elias and the Shrieker. The creature begins to seek his presence, respond to his signals, and even engage in behaviors that suggest playfulness or curiosity. These moments humanize the Shrieker without diminishing its formidable nature, creating a layered portrayal of the creature as intelligent, emotional, and capable of forming bonds. This nuanced characterization reinforces the central theme. What appears monstrous to the world may simply be misunderstood, and humans have the unique ability to see beyond fear and legend to the truth beneath. The narrative tension in Part 4 is balanced with moments of triumph, showing that relationships of trust are fragile yet possible. By maintaining a careful pace and emphasizing both the challenges and successes, the story demonstrates that empathy and courage are not instantaneous solutions. They are processes requiring observation, patience, and consistency. Elias embodies these qualities, making him a symbol of human potential within the story's universe. In conclusion, Part 4 represents the apex of trust-building between human and creature. It shows the Shrieker acting alongside Elias, prioritizing his safety, and responding to his presence with recognition and cooperation. This part reinforces the HFY theme by highlighting uniquely human qualities: courage, empathy, patience, and the ability to understand and connect with beings that other species cannot. The monster, everyone feared until a human reached out, serves as the story's climax and resolution, showcasing the ultimate impact of Commander Elias Vaughn's courage, empathy, and patience. This section demonstrates the culmination of the HFY, Humans First theme. Humans possess qualities that allow them to achieve what other species consider impossible, forging bonds and understanding where fear and instinct alone fail. It also illustrates the transformative effects of this human-alien connection on both the Shrieker and the alien societies observing it. At the beginning of this section, the Shrieker has fully transitioned from a feared, untouchable monster into a creature capable of trust and cooperation. Its interactions with Elias are no longer tentative. It actively seeks his presence, responds to his signals, and even demonstrates protective instincts. This evolution highlights a central narrative point. Patience, empathy, and consistent non-aggressive engagement can turn even the most dangerous and feared beings into allies. Elias's actions throughout the story have not relied on brute force or coercion, but on observation, understanding, and respect. The Shrieker's transformation serves as a living testament to the effectiveness of these human traits, reinforcing the HFY theme that humans excel in situations requiring intelligence, courage, and empathy. The narrative emphasizes the Shrieker's recognition of Elias's role as a partner rather than a threat. During a critical moment, such as the approach of potential predators or rival species, the Shrieker defends Elias strategically rather than reacting with indiscriminate violence. This behavior demonstrates not only trust, but also discernment and loyalty, qualities that were previously obscured by the creature's reputation for terror. Through this, the story communicates that the Shrieker's monster label was a misunderstanding. What the world feared was simply a powerful being misunderstood by those who lacked the courage to engage with it. Elias's success in forming this bond underlines the unique human ability to approach challenges creatively, combining insight with bravery. Part 5 also explores the reaction of the alien species who have been observing the interactions. The aliens' initial fear and disbelief gradually give way to awe and respect. They witness firsthand a human engaging successfully with a creature they had deemed uncontrollable for generations. This contrast between human and alien behavior is central to the story's HFY message. Where the aliens relied on instinctual fear and avoidance, Elias relied on observation, patience, and empathy. This demonstrates that human success often stems from qualities beyond raw strength or technology, qualities that other species underestimate. The story uses this reaction to elevate humans as a species capable of achieving extraordinary results through intelligence, moral courage, and the willingness to act where others hesitate. The climax of Part 5 is marked by a symbolic and emotional moment. As Elias prepares to leave Zyreth, the Shrieker appears on the cliffs to see him off. Rather than the expected roar or attack, the creature remains calm, its eyes glowing with recognition and trust. This moment encapsulates the story's central themes. It signals that fear has been replaced with understanding, and isolation has been replaced with connection. The Shrieker, once a legend of terror, is now a symbol of what can be accomplished through courage, patience, and empathy, hallmarks of the human spirit. This encounter reinforces that humans can redefine relationships, environments, and perceptions simply through their unique approach to fear, challenge, and understanding. Part 5 also serves to tie together the narrative arc of transformation for both characters and society. The Shrieker's evolution from monster to ally mirrors the human's ability to engage fearlessly, and the alien observer's shift from fear to admiration reflects a broader cultural impact. The story emphasizes that humans do not merely survive in alien environments, they actively change them, forging connections and inspiring respect where others see only danger. This reinforces the HFY motif. Humans are exceptional, not because of brute strength alone, but because of their unique combination of intelligence, courage, and empathy. Finally, the resolution underscores a lasting lesson. True strength lies in understanding and connection. The Shrieker, once the terror of Zyreth, now serves as a symbol of what humans can achieve through empathy and courage. The alien societies are left with a transformed perception, not only of the creature, but of humanity itself. Elias's actions demonstrate that humans have the capacity to bridge gaps that other species cannot even imagine, achieving trust, cooperation, and respect in situations where others see only fear and danger. In conclusion, Part 5 provides a satisfying and thematically rich resolution to the story. The Shrieker is no longer a feared monster, but a sentient being capable of trust and alliance. The aliens recognize the extraordinary nature of human courage and empathy, reinforcing the HFY message that humans excel in situations requiring moral intelligence, patience, and bravery. The story closes with the notion that fear can be overcome, isolation can be bridged, and legends of terror can become legends of understanding, all through uniquely human qualities. This resolution cements the story as a celebration of human ingenuity, compassion, and courage, leaving readers with a clear impression of why humans stand out in the galaxy.